because you don't have free will and you can't really think, or you can't justify thinking, because we're just molecules in motion.
Insofar as thinking accurately predicts experience, or at least consistently produces an impression that experience is being accurately predicted, it is justified. I see no advantage to thoughts or beliefs being any more accurate than that. Even if my thoughts and experiences are totally inconsistent with some reality that exists independent of my mind, this is completely irrelevant to me unless I can use this knowledge to predict and control my experiences. It is the ability to navigate my experiences, even if they are illusory, that matters most.
Or let's say you're walking along the beach and you see in the sand, John loves Mary. What do you assume? The waves did that? Crabs came out of the water and made that message? No, you're going to say that there had to be an intelligent being there, because you know in all your prior experience that messages only come from minds. They don't come from repetitive natural forces. Well, if messages only come from minds, where does this message come from? DNA.
Turek is conflating information and messages. Not all information is a message, and nobody from the field of information theory believes that it needs a mind in order to exist.
Every living thing has DNA. You have DNA, I have DNA, a banana has DNA. Now, what is DNA? Actually, Bill Gates, who as you know is no Christian, put it this way. He said, DNA is like a computer program, but far, far more advanced than any software ever created. DNA is immaterial. It's an immaterial code.
What the fuck does that mean?
Yes, it's expressed in materials, but the order in which the letters appear is not determined by any chemical, biological, or physical process.
Wrong. It's determined by mutation, a chemical process, and natural selection, an ecological process. These processes, especially when they interact with one another, are too complex for any particular mutation or new species to be predicted, but the fact that these processes are unpredictable does not mean that they are not deterministic.
A couple of years ago, I had the opportunity to visit the Buchenwald concentration camp. 68 years ago this month, the Allies liberated the camp. They went through the front gate, which is still there. They looked to the right, they saw the crematorium, which is still there. They got down to the crematorium, and then they looked into the courtyard attached to the crematorium, and this is what they saw. Brace yourself. Now, if there is no God, this is just a matter of opinion.
A trick that a lot of apologists try to pull is to try to make subjectivists look like morally perverse freaks. They seem to think that if you don't believe that murder is objectively wrong, then you believe that whether a person opposes murder or not is just a matter of opinion. This is a false dichotomy. While I don't believe that morality is objective, I don't see my opposition to murder as a matter of opinion. I oppose murder as a matter of conviction. Even though I don't think morality is objective, there are, nonetheless, acts which I am unable to tolerate under any conceivable circumstance. I see the moral status of an act as a relationship between that act and my conscience. Since that's the case, its moral status is relative to my conscience. In that sense, I am a moral relativist. However, since the relationship between some acts and my conscience is absolute, for example, there is absolutely no way my conscience would approve of an act that would cause the worst possible suffering for everyone, I am, in that sense, also a moral absolutist.
The laws of nature. You ever wonder why the laws of nature are so precise? Why can we take a rover and put it on Mars with absolute precision? Who's holding this universe together? Why are the four fundamental forces so predictable and so precise? It seems like something's holding this all together right now.
This is another common apologist assertion. They seem to think that the default state of reality is chaos and that order can only come from a mind, and this order can only endure as long as it is maintained by a conscious mind. There is absolutely no reason to assume this to be the case. There is no reason to assume that the laws of physics are somehow prone to falling apart at the seams, and that the only thing keeping them consistent is God.